Hey guys, it's day 51 of 100 here on OpenClaw. We're over the halfway hump. And so what happened? Well, it's been in the 51 days that I've been building with OpenClaw. Actually, a little bit longer than that because I was working on it for maybe 20 days before I started this series and had conviction to do it. But what have I learned? Well, one is being able to send your OpenClaw out to go get its own documentation for a service. So yesterday I was working on a GitHub project that searches and identifies interesting GitHub projects. It's pretty cool. But as I was doing that, I was reading the news and I saw something about the price of oil. And then I started thinking about gasoline. And I don't know if you know, but in the Netherlands, we have some of the most expensive gasoline in the world. It comes out to about $9.50 per gallon. In America it's like $3.50, and like expensive is like $4 and some change. So, but anyways, gas prices have a material effect on my life, and so I have not been pleased lately. And I've been thinking I need a hedge. I need to like I know the price of oil is going up, I know the price of my gasoline is going up, and so to offset that, shouldn't I benefit from the price going up? Because I think it might go up. And if it goes down, great, because I'm going to save a ton of money in my car. I just want to be able to hedge. So I hatched this plan, and I was really surprised. It took about 3 hours, but it started with finding out marketplaces where you could do this. By the way, DYDX has some of this. It's completely decentralized, and my bot set up an account and got everything configured, and I could just talk to it and say, hey, create this position with this much leverage, pretty cool, and put this stop loss in. I don't want to lose more than 5%. And all of a sudden, now I'm hedging against, the price of oil going up. I can benefit, and I could use some of those to pay for the higher gas prices. Also, I was like, wait, what? Can I do this for like baseball? Then I connected Call Sheet to it. I am not, and I do not support sports gambling, but we have this family tradition in my house where we have these little poker chips, and we all start out with a certain amount in the season, and we watch baseball games and we try to speculate on who's going to win, and we see who has the most poker chips, and they get a prize at the end of the season. Well, I do not so bad at baseball, and I thought, just for fun, since I did the whole DYDX thing with the oil, if I could pick good baseball games, give it a shot. And within 3 hours, I did the DYDX oil, the baseball, and set stop losses, set all these things, and just by talking to it on the phone. And then also I just added Astrodex, which adds more leverage for other kind of projects. And then I also added, what was the one? Polymarket, where you can just predict anything. When will the end of the Iran war be? When will Hillary Clinton be elected president? Right. So you can bet on these things, or you can buy prediction shares, as they call them. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing that it went out, read its own readmes for all these projects, created them. It had some issues here and there, and then I'd say, oh, do this, and then deployed them to the cloud, and then got these services running so they don't really require much AI. And at the very least, I can get stats on markets now because I'm getting market data, and it's really great and very unexpected. It was just kind of like, I'm paying too much for gas. And OpenClaw went and helped me out, maybe. We'll see. In other OpenClaw news, speaking of businesses and OpenClaw, we saw yesterday that there's a company that is finding multi-million-dollar houses and then creating images of the pools that would go in there as a pool installation company and then sending mail to them. Well, there's another company that I found out about that is using satellite data and going over and actually figuring out people who need to have their roofs replaced or updated. So that's a whole other thing. So more spam heading your way, guys. If you are a homeowner and you got a roof, you're going to probably get a message from someone using OpenClaw, and it's early, so we'll see. So if anything, OpenClaw might actually increase the amount of spam, but also OpenClaw and OpenClaw-like systems might actually reduce the amount of spam just because of the agentic bots that also be on the email servers. That's the update for day 51 of 100 on OpenClaw. I'll let you know how all this works out and thanks for watching.